Welcome everyone to episode 4 of
Yeti
Walks into Basecamp.
Ow, ow!
We're your hosts. I'm Basecamp.
And I'm Yeti Legs.
Hello.
Nice to see you, or at least
Talk to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're continuing on our part 2 series of mental and emotional challenges of a thru-hiker. And we're going to be talking about the social aspect and the mental and emotional aspect of the trail. But before we do all of that, we wanted to answer some questions from, I call her, she's like our Instagram friend that we met while we were hiking the trail in the Desolation Wilderness. And her Instagram name is Tahoe Dynamite. And she asked us a few questions. So we wanted to answer those first before we started the part 2 series.
Yeah. She actually asked some very good questions that could be informative for people prepping or on their hike currently who just need to hear some good info and listen to a podcast on their walk. First question is, books to read. Did you read all the hiking PCT books or just Yogi's stuff? And to that, I will say, we didn't read a single book, but we listened to a lot through Audible. On a lot of our drives, and even at least one on the PCT towards the beginning. I listened to some pieces of it. But we'll have these in the show notes as well. But I just wanted to go over the books that we listened to before actually starting the Pacific Crest Trail. None of them are like really informative books. They're more narrative, and I kind of think that was helpful for us because not only did it give bits of information here and there, but they also gave people's personal anecdotes, how they felt in certain places and situations. And we were able to pull that from our memory bank whenever we experienced some of the similar things that they did.
It's really good.
So I'll just go through the list. There's 6 of them. The first one is Free Outside by Jeff Garmire. Number 2 is The Trail Provides by David Smart. Number 3, and this is my personal favorite, is The Last Englishman by Keith Foskett. Keith Foskett is the man. And
amazing.
He's got quite a few books out there, so check him out. And then we have Journeys North by the infamous Barney Scout Mann.
Good book.
We have Hikertrash, Life on the PCT by Erin Miller. And that is a great book for couples hiking the Pacific Crest Trail.
Yeah, that was a really helpful one to listen to.
Yeah. And the last one is Thru-Hiking Will Break Your Heart by Quinn. And of all the books, that one is probably the lightest and most enjoyable to read or listen to. It's just a good, feel-good book. So check those out if you get the opportunity. There are far more out there. Those are just the ones that we chose to listen to through Audible. All right, the next question from Tahoe Dynamite is supplements, protein powder. What? Thanks for doing this, and you're an inspiration to us all. So do you want to talk about supplements first, Basecamp?
Supplements. So for supplements, I will say I think that salt tabs are really helpful out there because you are exposed to the sun so much. And so I personally love salt tabs, but I didn't have them everywhere I went. So I always kept craving salt tabs. So salt tabs I think would be a really good supplement to have. I also struggled with iron deficiencies out there, especially females. If you're on your period, you're going to need iron. And so a supplement really did help me in getting enough iron because you're not going to get it in the food that you're going to be taking out there mostly. So I think it's a really good supplement to have when you know you're close to that time of the month. Did you have any supplements? I can't.
No. I would say a supplement for you might have been candy.
Oh my gosh.
I would call that a necessary supplement, sugar shots.
Oh my gosh. I had a sugar problem. And not because I actually crave sugar before the trail. I never ate sugar before the trail. I crave cheese is what I crave. And when we got on trail, I all of a sudden started having these very weak moments where I could not take another step. I would literally sit down beside a tree and be like, I can't move. I'm so weak. And Wesley would be like, just eat eat this little chocolate I have. And I'm like, I don't want chocolate. I don't like chocolate. And he's like, just eat it. And I did. And I popped up and was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. So I started buying fruit snacks, fruit gummies, the Welch ones or what were the other ones I did?
Oh gosh. Rebo?
No,
Those are the gummy worms.
They were like they were better. They were real fruit and real veggie juice.
Real.
That's what it said.
In air quotes.
I can't remember. If I could see it, I'd remember. Anyway, so I take those with me in a huge personal Ziploc and put it in my fanny pack, and I would just munch on those all day. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really an actual supplement, but you could say it's a trail supplement.
Yeah, and sugar. I needed sugar.
Yeah, she sure did.
I had sugar crashes. But anyway, what about you?
I didn't do any supplements other than protein powder. So before we started the trail, in all of our boxes that we sent ourselves, total of 10?
I don't even remember.
9 or 10. Can't even remember now. We lost one in the sauce somewhere. So.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I got protein powder. It's just the cheapest stuff that I could find. And I mixed it with hot cocoa mix and cocoa powder. And whenever we were on trail and we would get those little packages in the boxes, I realized it was disgusting. It was a terrible mix. So what I began to do on trail is whenever we went to a town, I would try and find a big tub of collagen protein powder. And I would mix it straight with just pure hot chocolate, no cocoa powder in there, because it just diluted it and made it bitter and unsweet. And we would also try out other drink mixes, like apple cider was one of the drink mixes.
Oh, yeah, with collagen.
Yeah. And all these other little Nestle, like, sweet drink packets.
Yeah, it would be like a dessert at the end of the day.
Yeah, so we would eat our normal dinner, and then we would drink these little, like, jacked up protein shakes with sugar. And seriously, it was our dessert.
Yeah.
But I started the trail with big legs, big quads, big calves, and they became more toned and more defined along the way and up through our finish. And I attribute a lot of that to the
collagen,
to the level of protein intake that we had.
That's true. We did take a lot of collagen, and I mean, you look at other people on the trail by month 4, and they are just sticks and bones.
They look wasted.
Yeah, because they're not eating a lot, but they're also, I think that is something that we heard a lot of people start saying is take collagen peptides on the trail, because that's going to help your muscle replenish, which it did.
Yeah. And by the end of the trail, I was fit, but I had gained, about 15 pounds.
Yeah, he had gained weight.
15 pounds, and most of it would be muscle.
Yeah, it's true.
I can't say the same now, but we'll see. And the next question from Tahoe Dynamite, and this is going to be the last one, and it's going to be detailed for sure, and it may be helpful for a lot of you. So Tahoe Dynamite is a vegetarian, not vegan, vegetarian. And her question is, do you have the list of towns that didn't have a lot of grocery stores or places to get food? She's vegetarian, so she's very much worried she can't sustain herself with what's available in certain towns. And she's seen that some places do have decent general stores, but there are not very many vegetarian options in those stores.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm not a vegetarian, but I will say, in most places we went, before I get into the list, in most places we went, they did have ramen, and they did have, muffins. It's not going to be the healthiest food in the world, but it is vegetarian, technically. Like, you can get options if it's ramen. And I feel like in those areas where it didn't feel like a lot of selection, you just kind of get what you have and just get ramen, get the muffins, get the tortillas with like specific things that you can wrap in it, some cheese, anything like that. But if you're concerned about protein supplements or anything like that, then sending yourself a little box might be helpful. It's just a lot of work. Even when you're on the trail, it's a lot of work. And the question becomes do you want to put yourself through so much work?
Yeah.
Or not? And I think I realized as we continued the trail and even after, we didn't have to send ourselves all those boxes.
Good Lord.
Those boxes. And we could have saved ourselves a lot of time and effort and energy. So But
Well, real quick, I do want to say this. One thing we found to be very beneficial as far as the food resupply goes, which is also vegetarian, is dehydrated refried beans. That's a very long word. But you can get them at Walmart in the ethnic food section. And even some spots sold these outside of just Walmart. So other grocery stores.
Little ones did, yeah.
Yeah, maybe even a gas station or two. Mm-hmm. But that's a great option. And I don't know, Tahoe, how vegetarian you are, or if you're a pescatarian, how strict that is for you. But most every stop on the trail has tuna packets. Yep. So you can get mixed. Wow, what am I trying to say? Please cut this out. You can get crazy with the tuna varieties and all the sauces that you put on them. And the vehicles that you put your tuna on, like chips or tortillas or Hawaiian rolls or stuff like that.
Yeah, just know that in a smaller town, if you decide, because you can also hitch out to bigger towns as well. It is possible to do this throughout the trail. But if you are in a smaller town and that's what you choose to do, then just know you are very limited in those options. However, it's very common that they will have bread, they'll have ramen, they'll have muffins, they'll have the pastry packets, they'll have certain things. So for like 3 or 4 days, you may have to just get by with that.
Yeah. And the food resupplies don't really get difficult until Washington. And by that time, you're a seasoned veteran at packing your own food. So you'll have already figured it out.
Yeah. And you'll know what you want too, because it's not going to be the same as when you started the trail.
Yeah.
But these were the places that, based off of research from Yogi stuff, and there was another hiker who like created a spreadsheet. All of these small towns really want to cater to hikers. They want to help us. They want to make money. So the first place we did do a mail drop was the Acton KOA. It's called the LA RV Resort now. We technically did not have to send ourselves a box because they had a resupply inside the cute little store because they know all the hikers come there. And also, there is a place where you can hitch into town that's like 20 minutes from there.
The town of Acton.
Yeah, I didn't even know. There's also a Costco even further out. And there are trail angels that were willing to take hikers to these bigger grocery stores. So you actually do not have to send yourself a box there unless you're wanting to get out really fast and you just want to get your resupply and then leave, then that's how you would do it. But if you want to take a Nero, and I would recommend enjoying Acton KOA. It's a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of hikers, drink beer, hang out.
And you can reconnect to the trail by hiking through the KOA.
Yeah, you can actually hike in and out of the KOA without hitching. But a lot of the hikers just went and got a hitch into town and resupplied, which you can do. The second one was Kennedy Meadows South. And that one, honestly, again, did not have to send ourselves a box. They had everything there. The general store had things, Grumpy's had things, and Triple Crown Outfitters had everything. So you really don't need to, unless you have a very specific dietary need that you have to have that no one else understands. Then you send yourself a box.
Yeah, I would say keep in mind that TCO, Triple Crown Outfitters, they do have a lot of specialized foods.
They do.
So those tend to be a little bit more expensive, like the Green Belly.
Yeah, they had awesome bars, the Green Belly bars, the Outer Range meal bars. They had a lot of dehydrated meals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course they have chips and ramen. Yeah. And TCO also carries those dehydrated refried beans.
They do. So you can do your whole resupply there. You don't have to send yourself a box. But I will say, sorry, to go back. If you are going through that section when winter is hitting, or you're still in like May, June, where it's snow or it's starting to thaw out, I would recommend sending yourself a box then. That's when we sent some of our gear exchange, was at Kennedy Meadows South. If we knew we needed certain things for the Sierras before going in, then we had a box ready to go to be sent to us. And that does happen. And the mail system there is very simple. So it shouldn't be a problem. And then the third one was Independence. Kearsarge Pass was where this was, Independence Town. And we did not have to send ourselves a box here. This was when we went into Bishop the first time, remember?
Yeah.
So we didn't need to send ourselves a box here. You can get a resupply in Bishop. Most people they hitch into Bishop There's a whole bus system where you can take a bus to Bishop or Lone Pine from Independence. And so it's very possible for you to just resupply at bigger stores there.
Yeah, and I would also say if you do want to send yourself a box in that area, do not send to Independence because it's a smaller town and their post office has small town hours.
Very limited hours.
Which is to be expected. And we did not plan accordingly. So we had to go back to the post office after getting there the first time to a closed door.
Yeah, we got there, or somebody gave us a hitch out of the trail to there. It was closed. So when we went to Bishop, and then we had to get the bus back to Independence the next day. So it just felt like a waste of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to send yourself a box anywhere in that section. And then Kennedy Meadows North was the next place that we sent a box. And again, you did not have to send yourself a box there. There was a whole resupply at Kennedy Meadows North. And we ended up getting some resupply there because we didn't want half the food we had in our box. And they really do try to cater to hikers at Kennedy Meadows North. And then Crater Lake, we sent a box. And again, the store had what we needed. And we ended up, ditching half of our box, I think. And going ahead and getting food from the general store there.
We did.
Crater Lake, the lodge, they had a whole, simple, again, these are the simple resupplies. These are like the ones where just know you may just need to get ramen and tuna packets, tortillas, and breakfast muffins. And they do have dehydrated meals, but when you're trying to go cheap, those are expensive.
It's true. And I do want to note this too, that in Crater Lake, you'll be shipping to the Mazama Village campground area, which is not the same as the town of Mazama up in Washington. So I just wanted to make that differentiation right there.
Oh yeah, because it is also Mazama.
Yeah, it's a very unique name, and it's interesting that there are two places on trail named it.
The next one was Elk Lake Resort. We actually didn't even end up sending ourselves a box there because we resupplied in Shelter Cove Resort. We got a full resupply there, and we just went all the way to Sisters from there, which was a few days, so it wasn't a big resupply. So you really don't need to send yourself a box in Oregon at all. You've got, oh my gosh, within 3 to 4 days supplies. That's it within each town.
Yeah, towns,
Oregon.
or you're hiking to a lot of resorts.
Yeah, and they all have resupplies for hikers and food. And you get creative too because you want real food. So you may hike out a hamburger for dinner that night if you're leaving that afternoon. So just think about how to get creative and take real food out there with you and eat it that night. And then all you need are 2 days of food or a day and a half. Or whatnot. So the next one was Snoqualmie Pass. And this one, I will say...
Snoqualmie!
Yes. I'm glad we did a resupply here because everybody was sick.
With norovirus.
So what we ended up doing was going in and out, grabbing our bag, putting it all in Ziplocs, and literally getting out of there within a few hours. And so if we'd gone to the store, we might have gotten sick.
Yeah.
But there was a whole grocery store there. I was like, oh my gosh, there's an entire grocery store here.
And a few gas stations.
So we definitely could have resupplied there.
Yeah. Not saying that Snoqualmie will be overrun with norovirus when you get there, but that was just our experience. And we're glad that we had a box at that one.
Just to get in and out. Yeah. Because we could separate ourselves from the crowd and do that. Then the next one was...
Skycomish. We never even got that damn box.
We never even we decided not even to go to Skycomish. We went to Leavenworth. So you can go to Leavenworth or Skycomish in the hitching world there. And so Leavenworth is a delightful town that I personally loved. It's a cute Bavarian town. And we did a full resupply there because there's a Safeway, I think, or something. Yeah. So we never even got our Skycomish box. And still haven't to this day because they never sent it back.
Oh, yes. They actually have since destroyed it.
I'm very sad about this because there was some really good dehydrated meals in there.
That's what the post office told me.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah.
And then the last one was Tahoe. Now, here's where I would have done this different because we did not know. I probably would have only gone into Tahoe to get the bakery food, and that's it. And then gone to Mazama.
Which is a day's hike away from Tahoe.
Literally a day's hike. It's like 20 miles, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And so you can get there in a day. So just like load your pack with cinnamon buns all day or something if you want to. And they had sandwiches. They had some really good food at the bakery. And then go to Mazama and resupply there for the end of it, because they had dehydrated meals. They had really good foods, ramen. I mean, they had everything at Mazama. So if you wanted to go to the bakery at Sea, you can go and just enjoy it. But they don't have a good resupply there. Yeah, is what I encountered.
But they have a day-old baked goods box.
And that is gold.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that is how I feel about all of the resupply places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to our episode of
Yeti
Walks into Basecamp. We're your hosts,
Yeti Legs
and Basecamp.
If you want to follow along on our social media or our YouTube channel, which we are trying to keep updated daily, you can find links to that on our profile page. And please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast. And as we say in the hiking community,
Happy trails.